Hello. Give me 1 second, actually. Okay. So, I really need to start jotting down what I was gonna say before I start doing this shit. I had like maybe six points that were very important, but also I probably didn't, and I just had like a lot of things to say. I think the first thing that was like really bugging me lately, I've been really battling this philosophy of, in order for you to acquire certain things, you have to be willing to die in order to get them. You have to be willing to risk your entire existence in order to kind of step into the reality or the outcome that you want, that you're going after. That you, in a way, it's like a door almost, like not a door but a boundary, and that boundary in itself is death. It's like a thing that you have to be willing to go through if what you want is actually worth it to you. And I bring this up because I've noticed lately how much it seems like young men have been willing to die over sex, and how much that bothers me in a way. Because it's like, Jesus Christ, bro, there are a lot of things worth dying for in this life. I don't think sex is one of them. You know, I think that's just something that comes with being a decent person. Like, you don't... I posted a story on my Instagram yesterday. I don't remember exactly what I said. It was something about beauty and I was saying it's fucked up to judge a man for being attracted to what he's attracted to just because it doesn't fit people's current progressive mindset of, oh, we should find this attractive as well. It's like if we all recognize its preference and like an incomprehensible, desires that we have that we kind of don't get to decide, unless we do get to decide them. And if we do, then why does anybody care? But some guy responded and he was all like, we're all just trying to, we're only attracted to what we think will make our genes more superior, what we think will combine with our genetics create a more superior creature. And like, I told him to shut the fuck up because I was so stupid. Like, imagine being brought into existence. Imagine literally you're alive. You've got all this opportunity to experience lots of things. And the first thing you do is you go, it's a competition. Yes, I've got to spread my seed into more women than the other guys do. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you even... Evolution is an interesting theory. I don't mind theory, not any more than I mind Christianity or Buddhism or things like reincarnation. I don't mind any of these ideas, but at the end of the day, you can't prove a single fucking one of them. You can't. You can fucking come up to me with a seminar and say, look, here's all the evidence I've gathered over the years. I wasn't fucking there, bro, and I'm not about to fucking go and prove it. Like, I don't care. Inherently, none of that shit fucking matters for me to be a decent person, for me to have a good fucking time. None of that shit fucking matters. For me to make sure everybody's fucking okay, for me to look out for people, for me to fucking be there when I'm needed. None of that shit fucking matters. I don't fucking care about any of that. At the end of the day, all that matters is that we have each other's backs, regardless of our genes, our race, our set. Like, fuck that shit, bro. When you think like that, you're actively thinking in a way that breeds racism, that breeds conflict for no fucking reason, because you've actively admitted to this idea that we're a creature that needs to figure out the most effective way to respond to being alive, and that we've got to be more effective than everything else in order to be happy. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. That's so stupid. That's literally hierarchical thinking. That's a competitive mindset that you tried to justify by adding fancy words, making it scientific. No, bro. You're being dumb. You're being fucking stupid. That's what you're doing. Because you literally can't just live life. Now you're going around going, yeah, I know how to beat these guys. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Literally have a good time. It's always, oh, you want the best genetics this, you gotta have the best genetics that. None of these guys have any bitches in their genetics, bro. I guarantee it. None of these guys do. Because a man that goes around literally thinking, it's all a race war, huh? Oh, I gotta beat everyone. Literally can't ever get with anybody that doesn't think like him. And I guarantee you the people who think like him are just as fucking ugly as he is. I guarantee that. I guarantee you that guys who are fucking racist will never find a genuinely attractive woman. Because being attractive is not just a physical thing. It's not just the genes in your body. It's literally a choice you're making to behave a certain way, to be fair. Fairness is attractive. That shit is attractive to people. People that look fair are often mistaken as looking like kids, looking more youthful. When the truth is that they just behave in a way that creates this impression around them that they're innocent people because they're trying their hardest to be fair. Innocence is not something that belongs to children. It belongs to people that behave in a fair way. That's all that is. But you got morons walking around thinking, oh, they found the trick. They found the trick. Now I have to get that information from them. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up. No one thinks like that. No one thinks like that. You're the only fucking person that's in the room thinking like that. Everyone else is just trying to have a good fucking time. Shut the fuck up. I've lived in Heights, Houston for quite some time, and it's a predominantly white Caucasian neighborhood. Like, I'm like one of the only black people walking around. Which isn't necessarily the truth, but most of the black people that come here, they don't live in the neighborhood. There are just some shops nearby that they're visiting. And what I've learned over time is, yeah, I've run into a couple of fucking morons that like did that stupid thing where like when nobody else was looking, they gave me that look that fucking indicated that we were at war with one another. Like I know that you know what I know and we have to beat each other. And it was just like, I learned over, like at first I was like, hey, what's up, what's wrong? And I learned that they weren't ever gonna admit what the fuck they were thinking. It took me years to figure out what the fuck was going on. And I learned over time to just ignore that shit. Cause you know what happens when they do that shit? When they're like that, and then you just go, they feel fucking stupid. They feel so fucking dumb. It's the funniest shit in the world because they realize how childish that shit looks. And some of them are fucking actually deluded. Some of them will go, oh my God, he doesn't even realize. Like, it's so childish, bro. Like, you can't even just exist without somebody trying to justify their existence compared to yours. I mean, when you become convinced that life is nothing but a battle that you gotta find an effective way to overcome, well then you've made life a battle for you, and because you think it's a battle for you, you're sitting there forcing it to be a battle for everyone else, because when somebody else is happy, when somebody else is having a good time, your dumb ass is gonna sit there and go, what the fuck, I'm way more effective than him, oh, what the hell? Like, you're being dumb is what you're being fucking stupid. You're not intelligent. Intelligence is not, all right, how am I gonna outsmart everybody in the room? Intelligence is literally realizing, oh shit, there's no reason for any of us to fight. That's fucking intelligent. Intelligence isn't people who are minding their business going up behind them and stabbing them in the back and saying, oh my God, they didn't see me coming, I'm so smart. That's not intelligence. You need help at that point. It has become so aggressive. You know, a lot of people that believe in theories like evolution will be the quickest to fucking like bash on Christians and those with religions. They'll be like, yeah, those weak guys, they need to believe in, they can't even prove that shit. Like, they don't realize that they're doing the same exact thing about their fucking ideology, that they're literally almost worse than Christians, because they sit there and they've convinced themselves that it's justified to do all this art of war shit, to literally go around, and you know what it is, people don't want to admit this, it's pussy. All the guys that do this shit, they're only doing it for pussy. It's not for, like, there's no fucking moral thing that they're going after. It's not because they think it's the right thing to do. No, bro, they just want pussy, they can't get it, and now they started trying to fucking take it in a fucking passive way because nobody wants to fuck people that think everything is a fight. Nobody wants to hang out with people that think everything is a fight. Nobody wants to be in a relationship with people that think everything is a fucking fight. And so now they got to go around acting like, all right, here are all the tactics for how to get women that don't want to sleep with you because you're a shitty guy. Like, shut the fuck. Like, what is wrong with people, man? Just be your fucking self. It's that simple. Be yourself. Look out for everybody. You know how attractive that is to people? Not when you're doing it to get laid. Because when you're doing it to get laid, eventually you're going to get fed up and you're going to stop doing it. And that's how your ass gets caught. Be fair. Be logical. No, don't fuck logic at some point. You don't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. Fuck logic. Logic is literally you thinking you can comprehend this entire life and hold it in your fucking hands, bro. You can't. It's literally outside. It's incomprehensible. You don't fucking know what's going on. Let it be. Be fair. Choose to look out for everything. Because inherently that's what you want. You want everything to look out for you. I can't imagine that there's genuinely a guy walking around going, I can fucking do all this by myself and I don't need anyone's help. And also, I'm better than everyone. And if anyone tried to come at me, I could take them out. And they're still good. Like, they're not living like a fucked up life. I can't imagine if there's genuinely someone who thinks that way. Because when you carry that shit, people see that. That's such an offensive way to think. Not even in like a, you've hurt my feelings, but in like a, why are you attacking me right now? We were literally all having a good time. Like, that shit gets out. And no matter how sneaky you think you are, how sly you think you are, how fucking art of war you think you are, people see that shit, bro, because you always bring that shit up. You carry that shit in your behavior. Whether you think you're smart enough to hide it or not, you carry that shit in how you act, and people sense it over time. And you get put around the people that think like you. Because who the fuck else do you belong around other than the people who think like you? That was the first point. That was really the first point. I wanted to talk about something else. So I've been going through, it's happened quite a lot that I'll find myself suddenly being offered this new interpretation of life, what could be going on. And I'm always down to explore them because inherently I think that's a part of the process of keeping things fair is, all right, if this is what was happening, how would you respond to it? How do you think is the most healthiest way to treat everybody in that situation? I think that's a really healthy exercise to like let your brain do your entire life. However, there's some ideas where it's like the only option is to like become like the situation, and it's those ideas that frighten me the most, and those are the ideas I become obsessed with disproving. And so I've been coming with this idea, I guess it's a continuation about how some people literally treat life like we're physically like magnets, like we're physically like fucking like, I mean, I guess to boil it down and say it in like a scientific way, people are going around treating life like it's nothing but spreading their culture. Like it's nothing but trying to alter everything outside of them so that it becomes more like them. And it's like, no, bro. I remember there was a time where I was literally dealing with the idea that maybe water was somebody's piss and we just didn't know it. Like, it was such a nasty thing to go through. And I had to sit there and go through it alone because if I brought it up to other people, they would literally take the opportunity to go, oh my God, he's crazy. He thinks he's crazy things. But it's like, hey, there are possibilities that might be going on that we need to deal with. And it was fucked up to me to have to sit there and deal with this idea that there might be a group of people out there who are passively claiming that they own water. That they own water. That water is theirs. That's such a stupid fucking idea to me. That there's a group of people who claim that they own water and that you drinking it is like a show of their dominance or how much they've taken over the world. That bothers me. That there are people that, whether they think exactly like that or not, that literally believe that this earth is theirs. That this earth belongs to them. Who the fuck? What the fuck? You've been offered the opportunity to live at this life in this domain where we all have the opportunity to be happy, to experience something great. And instead of just going around being fair, because of the way you think, it created an outcome where people didn't want to be around you or you couldn't get laid because you decided you should have everything whenever you want without anyone's concern, which is if we're talking about an effective way to approach life, that's a very ineffective way to approach life. Because that breeds hostility. that breeds the outcome in which people just kill you regardless of what you do because of how long you've been doing that. It's a very ineffective approach if we're talking evolution and shit. But people that are sitting there and they're fucking going, I've got to make sure that this world respects me at the end of the day. Like, I've got to make sure that all my people are the happiest compared to everybody else. Like, you're doing something that you wouldn't want somebody to do to you. You wouldn't want somebody to come into the room and suddenly tell you how you need to think, how you need to see life, how you need to respect them, how you need to alter your behavior to accommodate how they want life to be. You wouldn't want anyone to do that to you. Yet for some reason you're going around and you're doing it to others. And you don't see how that's creating a lot of the shit that's wrong with your life. You don't see that. You don't see how that's a large part of the reason that you don't get along with people. It's because you sit there and you try to find the people that think like you, that think that everybody should do this specific thing, that everyone should worship this specific group of people. Like, shut the fuck up. Seriously, shut the fuck up. That's so stupid. We've been offered the opportunity to experience things, to really experience life. And you got guys that don't even realize how much they're behaving like animals. An animal comes into this life and says, how am I going to get everything I want against everybody else getting everything they want? How am I going to secure my safety, my security, my comfort in exchange for everybody else's discomfort? There are guys that literally walk around. I had a chef at my old job that literally told me, in order for me to be successful, somebody else has to be unsuccessful. Like, what the fuck who thinks like that? That's such a stupid way to think. Who literally thinks like that? The only way that works is if you specifically have the specific idea for what success should be for you, and that you think only one person can do that. Like, yeah, you create that world with everything you do. You put yourself in that position to go through that shit because of how you think. We all have the opportunity for success. We all have the opportunity to work with life and have a good time until we find ourselves where we best fit in. But when you decide, I would best fit in there, even though I don't know what the fuck all of this is or what's going on, specifically right there is where I would best fit in. And now because I've created a single point that I need to be, now no one else can be at that point but me. So I've created competition. I've made it so that if I don't get there, I'm unhappy, I'm uncomforted. And so yeah, now when I think this way, someone has to be uncomfortable because I'm comfortable. Like, you know what it is? People go around and they feel like they need to justify their happiness. They need to justify their comfort. And you know why? It's because there are assholes that go around and when they're unhappy and when they're uncomfortable, they go around and they go, why should you get everything you want? Why should you be happy? Why should, life is unfair, that's just how it is. Like, shut the, like, imagine not being happy with something and your approach to everything in order to try and gain this happiness is to go around and spread this mindset in which other people avoid happiness because you convince them that they need to justify why they deserve it. And when someone is put in a position where they need to justify why they deserve it, you're almost asking them to justify why they should continue being alive. And how the fuck, once you convince somebody that they need to justify that shit, what's the justification? How do you justify the fact that you were born? Because that's what that is at the end of the day. Justify why you should be allowed to exist and take some of our resources and, like, why the fuck? At that point, no one can justify their existence because no one knows what's going on. Nobody can. At that point, because you decided that your unhappiness, everyone else had to go through it until it was cured in you. You decided that your problems you needed to give to everybody else and force them to have it when you were around until they could help you solve them. That's why you're unhappy. That's why you're unhappy. Because nobody else can be happy unless you are. And people who think that way don't deserve happiness. They don't. Because they won't let anybody else deserve it. I'm gonna grab a cup of water right quick. Agra. Agra. I love Agra. Oh, yeah. Some good shit right there. Oh, my God. Yeah, man, but when you're around people that look out for one another, I wish I could draw a diagram, but when you're around people that look out for one another, that means when you're around people that look out for one another, it means that when you're down, they're not going to sit there and justify you being down. They're going to sit there and go, wait, what the fuck? Why does he deserve that? Hey, let's help him out. Even if you've done wrong, even if you fucked up, people are going to go, yeah, but you see he's trying his hardest. Let's just help him out. Let's help him overcome this. No, but when everyone's all like, only I can win, only one person can win, then when somebody else is down, they're going, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that always made sense. That was always going to happen. Yes, that was always going to happen. Yes. No, I mean, I didn't see it going any other way. I mean, this is just the most logical outcome. Why would they ever succeed? Why would they ever be happy? I mean, they don't think the way I think. I mean, they literally don't think specifically the way I think, so why would they ever be happy? I mean, that's just the most logical thing. Sex. Thank you so much. That text message reminded me. Right now, because of how people treat things and because of how people see things, it feels like you cannot have sex without having won some fucked up war of capturing somebody against their will. Without some fucked up war of like, you go into a room and you see somebody and the first thing they say is, I don't want to have sex with you. And so you make it a game of, all right, how do I turn that no into a yes? That's so uncomfortable for me. I hate that shit. And there are guys out there that'll be like, that's just the game, homie. That's just how it is. No, bro, it is fucked up. It is fucked up inherently to see life as how can I trick people into saying yes? How can I knock people off of their feet so that they've lost their ability to say no to me? How can I make them wobble and become confused so that I can convince them that they gave me consent? That's so fucked up. Like, be yourself and that shit usually just happens. Be yourself, be fair. Like, and it's like, here's the thing, there are guys that are like, what's the best tactic for getting laid? Not trying to fucking get laid. Like, I don't know how else to tell you. When you sit there and you're thinking, I need to get this. Well, then you're never gonna fucking get it. Because that shit becomes obvious in your behavior. Nobody wants to be around somebody who obviously wants something from them. Be fucking cool. Get to a point in which you can live with the idea that you could fucking never have sex for the rest of your life, and that's alright. In fact, it shouldn't even matter what you need to do in order for sex to just come to you. It shouldn't matter. Like, you should get to a point where you're not thinking about it, man. And there are guys that might see this video one day and they'll fucking go, I'm sure he does this and I'm sure he does that, and look at him, look, he did that, and he was saying all this stuff, because it didn't make sense to me, and I knew that I was too fucking much of a fucked up person to ever get laid naturally, so I had to find a way to demonize him and make him look like a hypocrite. It's like that's why you have a hard time getting laid. That's literally why you have a hard time getting laid. Alright, I have to go.